YouTube. So welcome back. Today, as you can see, we're in the office and we're just gonna have a really quick chit chat on about one of my most asked about questions, or I would say like fitness / wellness related topics, and that is macros. So for starters, a lot of people ask me like, what are macros? Like, does that just mean you're counting calories? And the short answer to that is no. A lot of these calorie counting apps that you see, people use just to see like, hey, like my doctor, my nutritionist, or my dietitian told me I should only eat 1,800 calories for the day. So I just want to track that I'm doing that. But for me, what I found most helpful in my weight loss journey and just my like fitness and wellness journey overall is actually knowing the makeup of my food, because 1,800 calories could really be one meal depending on what you're eating. Or it could be 3 meals and 2 really great snacks depending again on what you're eating. So with that, I want to talk to you a little bit about macros. First and foremost, macros is just a shortened version of the word macronutrient. And what that means is you are literally knowing what makes up the top 3 energy categories in your food. So the top 3 places where we get energy from our food are proteins, carbs, and fats, okay? Protein, carbs, and fats. So when you hear someone saying, well, what's the macros, or how are you counting your macros? They are talking about how do you know how many grams of protein, the amount of fat or the percentage of fat, and the amount of carbs are in either your meal or in a specific food source that you're eating. So with that, our body gets our energy from those 3 main categories. And what I found is I saw the most results in my physique when I focus on maximizing my protein intake. I started maybe around getting 60 grams of protein a day. Then I took it up to making 100 grams of protein a day, my like minimum. And now I'm shooting for like 120 grams of protein on a really good day. So maximizing my protein, being mindful of my carbs, not totally cutting carbs out, but being mindful of like where I'm getting my carbs from. And also just like knowing how many carbs I'm intaking. So with that, what that means is I try to keep my carbs like below 100 grams of carbs for the day. I also always eat my carbs with protein, so my body is not just like taking in those carbs and storing them, it's burning it with that protein. And lastly, I'm very mindful of fats because, you know, just like in terms of health, depending on what your family health history is, depending on like what your health goals are, you just want to make sure that you're being mindful of the saturated or polysaturated, you know, fats that you're taking in, just because it could lead to things like heart disease, etc. And with that, I always try to make sure I am picking up lean proteins at the grocery store rather than just like reaching for anything. I really try to see that my protein is like 95% lean, just so I know I am getting the highest amount of protein that I possibly can while minimizing the fats that may not be the best for me. So when we're talking about macros, all we're talking about is you knowing how many carbs, protein, and fats are in your daily consumption or in just like your meal-based or food-based consumption. So if you didn't know, now you know. So for starters, MyFitnessPal is a free app on the App Store where you can literally track your calories and your macros all at the click of a button. So I've been using MyFitnessPal for a little bit over a year now, and it is for me the easiest way for me to know what I'm eating, know what's in what I'm eating, and to track my macros so that I can meet my fitness goals. So we are going to walk through MyFitnessPal together, and I'm just going to kind of show you guys how I track my macros daily. So first thing you would do, obviously, is click open the app, okay? And what you'll see, I'll go to the dashboard page. The thing that I like about MyFitnessPal is it can actually sync to your Apple Watch. So today I already got my workout in, and as you can see on there, it says exercise 32. So I burned, I guess like, my Apple Watch says that I burned 439 calories for the day so far. But the way it like translates into MyFitnessPal, it gives you like calories back to eat. So it adds it back to the calories that you have to eat. So it added 32 calories to my calories for the day. As you can see here, my base goal is 1,200 calories. So I need to be at least eating 1,200 calories a day. And the next thing I do is I click down here and I go to diary. So the thing I like about MyFitnessPal is it is very it works with you. So for example, you can see right here, it says that if I would like, I can swipe to the right and just, let's say I ate the same thing today as I did yesterday, I could simply press this check and it would just log my same breakfast from yesterday today. However, I did not eat the same thing today. Yesterday I ate some protein oats with some berries, and today I actually ate, or I drank my breakfast. So as you can see, history will show like the most recent things you've eaten. So here you can see that my caramel premier protein shake is already there. So I did have a caramel premier protein shake. To that I added some PB Fit powder, and it's just like a peanut butter based powder. So I did 2 tablespoons of that. And yeah, I blended that up with ice and I had a smoothie. So now you can see it adds that up. Under breakfast, it says that my breakfast was 230 calories, and it's also telling me that my protein shake is high in protein. Go figure. So when I scroll down, right, from off rip, I can go to nutrition and I can go to macros on the top right hand corner, and it's gonna tell me how many macros, or how, like, the percentage of macros in that first meal, right? Like, this can be a little confusing for folks, so I like to read it on the nutrients page. So as you can see, my protein goal for every day is 62 grams of protein. Like I told you, that's kind of where I started, and now I try to go anywhere above 100 grams of protein just because I'm trying to cut and I'm trying to be more lean and build muscle. So my breakfast so far had 38 grams of protein, 10 carbs, and we go down to fat. You can see it had 1 gram, or 1 gram of saturated fat. It also tells you the cholesterol, the calcium, the iron. So if you have different fitness goals, like if you go to the doctor and they say, hey, you gotta cut down on your cholesterol, you gotta watch your fat intake, you gotta watch this, up your fiber, you can see here all of those things. So depending on what you're looking for, it does a really nice job of laying it out for you. And as you add your other meals to MyFitnessPal for the day, it's also going to add those macros to this page. So when people are asking, like, how do you know how many macros you did for the day, but also for a meal, you can see it right here, which is great. So I'm also pretty sugar free, so I always am mindful of my sugar. So when I put things in, I always just kind of look to see how much my sugar is increasing, because I, for the most part, buy things that are sugar free. I use monk fruit sweetener, and I'm just very mindful of my sugar intake as well. Because remember, drinks, all that, those are calories, and you want to make sure that you're being mindful of those calories when you are, consuming them. So for lunch, I had some boneless chicken thighs. So as you can see here, it's already there. I actually had 6 ounces of boneless chicken thighs. So I could go, I'm not gonna do it like that. So I'm gonna go and type in chicken thighs. Even though I eat it usually, I don't like how it's only showing me 4 ounces there. So I like to go here and I will find, I will find one that makes sense. So like Kirkland, let's see if I could put it to 1 ounce. So I would go to 1 ounce, right? Because a chicken thigh is a chicken thigh. It doesn't really matter the brand, unless you bought one that was like already made. So I would change my 1 ounce. I'm gonna change it to 6 ounces, okay? So that was 30 grams of protein, as you saw there. There we go. So I already hit my protein goal of 60. Whew. Boss. All right, so then I had like a cup of arugula, 5 calories, as you can see. I had a little bit of orzo. So I had 2 tablespoons of orzo, go figure. So I'm gonna change that to 2. As you can see, 5.2 grams of carbs. Orzo is not like super protein high, but I wanted a little bit on my salad, so I put it there. I also had some feta on my salad. So I used the fat-free feta from Athenos, I think it's pronounced. So I did probably like 2 tablespoons of that. Also has some protein in there. And then I did cucumber. I did not have 4 ounces. I had like 1 ounce. let's put 2 ounces for good measure. So I had 2 ounces of cucumbers and then onions. You might also be wondering, like, how do I know to guesstimate things? For my protein, I usually always weigh my protein. However, for other things, just because I'm so used to weighing things and like just eyeballing what it looks like, and I've been doing this for a while now, I'm just really like, I know how much, how many ounces and things are there. So I also just did a little bit of onions, probably like a tablespoon. It was a tiny bit. And then for my dressing, I did some balsamic that I've been loving, the Marie's balsamic vinaigrette. And I'll just keep the 2 tablespoons. I probably had less than that, but it's just a guesstimate. So lunch now, as you can see, was 330 calories, right? We're gonna go back to our lovely nutrition page. And as you can see, so far for the day, I've eaten 73 grams of protein. I've had 22 grams of carbs and, oops, sorry. Fat, I want to stay below 41 grams of fat. I still have 19 grams to go. Saturated fat, haven't really hit that too much. Cholesterol, I do eyeball my cholesterol because high cholesterol does run in my family. But yeah, so again, the 3 main things I focus on: protein, carbs, and fats. And so far I'm doing pretty good with those. All right, so I love MyFitnessPal. There's a space here for dinner. Obviously I haven't eaten dinner yet, but when I do, I will add it in so I know my overall macros for the day. There's also a place for snacks, so if you're eating a snack, add it in. And if you want to track your water intake, like if that's a goal for you, you can do that. I usually just know how many water bottles I've drank for the day. I've never really logged it, but go for it if you feel like doing that. Another thing I really like about MyFitnessPal is up here, you can see that there's my meals, my recipes, my foods. You can actually create recipes on here. So yesterday I was playing on my phone and I went and I created like a YouTube high protein soup. I'll show you guys really quickly how I did this. And then I'll just call this practice soup. Another soup we're making today. I'll say that it's gonna be 6 servings, right? And then I'm going to say it's going to have chicken, broth, protein powder, and an egg. And let's just throw some celery in there. I love celery. All right. So let's just say all of this was correct, right? If it's not, you could always go in and edit ingredients, etc., and then you can change it, find one that's more, that mimics the actual ingredient that you use, but it's just going to kind of give you just like a stock ingredient. So on the bottom, it tells you how many calories per serving. Once you go forward, it tells you literally all the nutrition facts for what you just created in that recipe. So you could literally scan things in. Scanning is now a premium feature. It was free before, but you can upgrade to premium and you can actually scan barcodes of foods so that it just goes right in there for you. But you can literally just save the recipe. Everything is here, tells you the macros, tells you the amount of sugar, etc. You can save it. And then when I go back to dinner, I could go to my recipes and now I can log my practice soup. And again, it counts right into my macros, and it's just an easy way if you're creating something, a high protein eat, etc., you can add it right in there and just track again what you're eating. So I really love MyFitnessPal. It has helped me in many ways since I started my weight loss journey. You could also go to progress and you can look at the steps that you've been doing. You can look at your weight. You can look at your waist if you take your measurements. Like here, I have pictures all the way back from when I was 250 pounds. And then most recently, my lowest weight was 158. And you can even compare pictures so that you can see, you know, how you're looking and how things have changed. So it is just a really beautiful, great app. I probably am going to upgrade to premium because obviously if I'm selling this app to you all, if I'm like telling you, this is not sponsored, this is not an ad, but if I'm telling you how amazing this app is, I obviously believe in it and I should, you know, just have all the premium features. But I I love MyFitnessPal. I track macros. I really am not too mindful of calories. Calories are helpful, especially if you're trying to eat in a caloric deficit to lose weight. However, it's more important to know what your food is made up of than to just know how much you ate for the day. Because like I said before, 1,800 calories could be a Big Mac from McDonald's, or it could be 4 high protein meals and 2 snacks. So it really all depends on what's going into your food. It's really important that you know what you're eating, and especially if you want to eat cleaner this year, it's super important that you understand the macros in your food, and that you are prioritizing what you need to prioritize to get the results you want. So I just wanted to come on here quick and share that with you all. If you have any questions, please, please, please leave them in the comments. Feedback, leave it in the comments. I am so excited to just share these tips and tricks with you guys, and I hope you find it super helpful. Give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe if this was helpful to you, and feel free also to give me some different ideas of what to tackle or answer next. I will see you guys in the next one, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.